Wow. It's very thick. That's awesome. Need a machete through here.
So this is what happens in a branch. Not all the coffee cherries ripe at the same time. So you just grab it. This is how you do the coffee picking.
We're picking fresh coffee in the thick of a Guatemalan plantation.
You can taste it. You can taste it. Yeah. They don't taste like coffee right now.
It's so sweet. It doesn't taste like coffee at all.
No.
That's so weird. Talking to a family whose coffee legacy dates back to 1895, but is now challenged by a modern problem: climate change. To find this family, we left behind the pollution-filled highways of Guatemala City and drove to a place where it feels like the world opens up. We've been up and down these incredibly steep hills, and right along the side, they're growing coffee at these high elevations and on these really, really steep angles. We're in Acatenango in the southwest part of Guatemala, where dirt roads snake between mountains and tiny churches are staggered through the landscape. We saw kids who spend whole days chopping and stacking firewood along the cliffs. It's here we find Finca La Soledad, a specialty coffee farm 3 hours from the city. Hola, me llamo Josie.
Mucho gusto, Enio Pérez para servirle.
And the Perez family. They're among the 125,000 people working in coffee production in Guatemala. To understand what a massive challenge that is, we're taking a tour.
Vamos, 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 vamos.
Oh boy.
Ahí está.
There you go. Watch out, watch this branch. Raul Perez is this family's oldest son and our tour guide. He learned English in college.
This is our family's farm. We have been working in coffee for a little bit more than 100 years. I'm the 5th generation working coffee here.
Is this a good place to grow coffee?
It's a great place to grow coffee, actually.
It used to be easier. Raul says production is off, and he says the family's biggest threat isn't mega companies like Starbucks. It's climate change. Gracias. Does it have an actual real impact here on your family's farm?
Yeah, mostly the rain patterns and the amount of rain that we have received in the last 5 years, it has been changing too much. And for us as coffee farmers, it's really hard to adapt to that fast changes. It's too fast for us.
Like many coffee farms in Guatemala, Finca La Soledad is in the mountains, so high that when the fog rolls in, it's hard to know where the earth ends and heaven begins. Rain impacts yield. Yield equals money. And with costs growing, profits shrinking, and the weather unpredictable, there's an inevitable question here. Can a family coffee business like this survive? You talked about your family having this farm for 4 or 5 generations. Are you worried that the next 4 to 5 generations won't be able to farm it?
Yes, for sure. I think every year is getting more complex to farm. This farm has our roots, my roots. Has been here for many years in my family, and it's a sense of belonging. We think we belong here.
Agua pura, cerveza.
All of the above. Yeah, see. This is where the Perez family feels comfortable. You do this all the time, impromptu picnic in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Life's good then. Thank you for having us.
No.
Feels wrong. I feel like we should be cheering with coffee. Moments like this are a brief distraction from the very real challenges they're facing. Challenges anyone growing coffee is facing. Climate change, experts say, has brought a plague that threatens this business. You can see it. Oh.
Orange spots.
It's a disease called rust or roya. A group called World Coffee Research found $2 billion worth of coffee was lost to rust between 2012 and 2016. Guatemala took a massive hit.
There's not enough leaves to feed these cherries.
So it should be staggered. You should have leaves the whole way through. And if you don't have that, what happens?
If they don't have nutrients, they will just turn into black, and then we lose that branch, or we can lose the whole tree at once.
Wow. There's research being done to help cut out rust altogether. And you can change some of the way you farm.
We are replanting some of the shade trees.
But it's a careful dance. Climate change can impact quality. Farming changes could also impact taste. And when you're selling specialty coffee, that's important. It tastes almost like a sweet pea. That is so weird.
Yeah, it takes a few more steps to turn into the coffee that you drink every morning.
That's cool. Alex, you have to do this.
Just don't chew it. Just try to remove that sticky
You know,
thing.
like the bar trick where you try to take the... What do you think?
Delightful.
You just spit that on my shoes.
Sorry.
And to be honest, these are not sweet enough. There should be more sweetness on this.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Despacito.
Despacito. Raul won't accept less than perfection. On our way back, we talk a lot about why. He explains there's a lot at stake when it's your family's name on the label. So there's a lot of pressure to keep it going.
Yes, it's a lot of pressure. But it's a good pressure because it's a product and a business that has a lot of history. So instead of being pressure, it's just a motivation to keep working.